Even then, I was still insecure, man, because this is our culture here. You know what I mean? You only got one chance to get it right. You cannot misrepresent your food, right? Because this is deep, and I wanted to make sure I did it right.
Hey, what's up? We're at Canje, a Caribbean restaurant here in Austin, Texas. We're gonna be dining and chatting with Chef Tavel Bristol-Joseph. He's gonna be telling his life stories, his history, how he came in America, and how he made it to Austin. Caribbean-inspired restaurant. This is probably your passion project then, is it not?
Yeah. This project is definitely meant for an expression of culture and community. So that was really important.
Yeah, I mean, I actually snuck in here a couple weeks ago just to check out the vibes. And I purposely didn't order certain dishes. I had a feeling you were gonna serve. So I was like, you know what? Let's get a feel for what Canje is.
It's such a special place because it's just a place that you can just walk in and feel welcome, right? That was the goal for us. It's a little bit about the food and the storytelling within that, but more about acceptance, more about I've never been to the Caribbean. I've only seen it on TV, or I know somebody that went. But when you walk into this restaurant, you feel like you're a part of it.
You really do. I know you said hospitality is kind of like your main focus.
Yes. We believe that hospitality is all about how you make people feel. From our perspective, if we're able to constantly be in your perimeter where we can anticipate, or your body language, paying attention to things of that nature. The way, even when you eat something, you know, like when you're at a restaurant and you eat something and it like take you back and you're like, oh my God, that's amazing. All of those, not only what you want, but also what you're experiencing. The team is doing a great job of monitoring that.
You know, it's just like sitting at the bar, right? And then if somebody's sitting at the bar, to me, that means that they want to have a conversation with you. They want recommendations. They want to hear stories.
Right.
And it's kind of funny because that's how we kind of met at Loud Bar, right? When I was talking to you, you literally said, I cook Caribbean food. That's all I got. No introduction, no nothing. I was like, okay, cool. Didn't mention Canje, didn't mention anything. Strictly, I cook Caribbean food.
Yeah. That's funny. You know, it's interesting because when you go out and you're trying to spend time with your person, right? You don't want to take away from the experience. So I make like a conscious effort to just, you know, take the chef part down and just be in a space. We're in this industry, we're constantly putting on a show. We're on stage, right? And we're giving a lot of our energy. We're laughing when it's not funny. We're, you know what I mean? We're empathizing. No, you're laughing now, man. It ain't that funny.
What do we have here?
All right, so this dish is the pink pineapple. This was really inspired by like growing up and being around my grandmother. It's really interesting. Old school Caribbean aunties and uncles and grandmothers, the way how they show love is through fruit. It's like the natural beauty of the earth. My grandmother, when you do great in school, she would be peeling like an orange or something, and she'll give you a slice, right? And like the fact that she did something with her hands and then turned around and fed you with it, it meant so much to you in that moment. And I think that's part of what we do so well when we create something with our hand and we give it to someone.
Right.
There's like this gift. So when I do great, I would get a piece of fruit. After she whooped my ass and she's trying to make up for it, she would also give me some fruit. It was the way for her to say, I care. I wanted to have a dish on the menu that just said that from the beginning of like, this is something that we think it's delicious and it's really good and it's fresh. We didn't do much to it.
Okay.
So it's pink pineapple, regular yellow pineapple. You got some passion fruit in there, a little bit of chili and basil. So you got that salt, sweet, acid play, and then we dotted it with some charcoal oil to give you that passion fruit seeds kind of
Yeah,
look.
that's gorgeous.
You gotta dig in.
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, dig in. Here you go. All right, you gotta get that first take, bro.
All right,
Yeah, so what you wanna do is do a little bit of stir in there, but just kind of get some of that pink pineapple with that sauce and the basil. Change the game.
Oh yeah. Sweet pink pineapple.
Mm-hmm.
I love the passion. Like I said, I love the passion fruit. The salt and the chilies.
Yeah.
It's like we're speaking a love language here.
Mm-hmm,
Because I love anything acidic, sweet, salty, spicy, all
Yeah.
in one bite. And then
That's
the
what's
basil,
up.
the basil really sets it off.
Yeah. Yeah,
Really
yeah.
love it.
It takes it into a different dimension. My grandmother did not make it like this. I'm telling you right now. It
Grandma's
wasn't
never
this
really do. Let's,
I appreciated my grandmother later on in my life.
it's always that way, right?
Yeah.
When we came to America, Grandma came a few years later, and she's the one that raised us while Mom and Dad are working. You know, so Grandma
yeah.
raised the 4 siblings plus like 3 sets of cousins all in the same house. You know?
I know about that.
So
100%.
I mean, we're
know about
immigrants.
that.
We're refugees. We're immigrants.
Yeah.
Nobody's gonna pay for child care.
Right.
It's cheaper to bring grandma from Laos.
Yeah, that's
child care. So, grandma was obviously a big part of your life.
Yeah.
I mean, is that where your cooking inspiration came from, or how did that start?
In Guyana, your last 2 years of high school, you have to pick a trade. Because there's not that many colleges in the country, so the government have you start doing a trade so you can leave from high school right into the workforce. And then they have technical drawing if you want to be an architect. They got commerce if you want to get into communications. And then there was home economics. All the girls were in home economics. So to me, the math, I was good with the math. I was like, well, I got a better chance here. But what happened is I used to play basketball a lot in high school, and we used to go to different neighborhoods after school and gamble for money by just playing ball until late. My aunt used to punish me by having me helping her to bake for the Sunday school every Saturday. I actually enjoyed it. Also, I had a sweet tooth, so making cookies and pound cakes and coconut cakes, that was like easy. I'm like, yeah, I'm feeding my habit, right? This is great. It's interesting because food was never a career path for me. It was a means to an end, right? It was never I've never been the person that's like, when I grew up, I'm gonna be a chef. Like, no, it was always just getting by on this thing. I don't know where my journey really lies, but I'm doing this thing while I figure it out because
I never thought
there
I
was
was
a lot.
a chef either.
Right. This is the national dish of Guyana. It's called pepper pot. I grew up eating pepper pot only around Christmas time. It's a dish that is created by the Amerindians, the native Indians in Guyana. Them, along with the African tribe, kind of created this dish, which is any wild meat that is braised down with this syrup called castor. And what castor is, it's yucca juice, cassava juice. So there's two types of yuccas. There's the black yucca, and then there's the white yucca. Most of us know the white one.
Right. I don't think I've ever seen a black yucca.
Right. Because the black one now, it has like small traces of cyanide in it. So a lot of people don't use it. But in the Cameroon, in Guyana, they would juice that and then they would cook it down. So essentially cooking out the toxins. Then they would add herbs and spices to it, a little bit of sugar, and then let that reduce again until it gets to like this molasses texture.
Like, yeah.
Right. It's just like this very flavorful, sweet, spicy syrup. And also it's so good, like I want to share it with the world. I want as many people to try this dish as possible. Dig in, man. Tell me what you think.
Yeah, so I was telling you, it's like when I came here a couple weeks ago, I purposely didn't order this because I wanted my first bite to be a mystery.
Right. Here we go. Tell me the flavors you're getting there.
Like caramelized pork belly is what I'm getting. Man, this kind of reminds me of a dish my mom makes for me all the time.
Oh, really? Tell me about that.
It's called tom kem.
Tom kem.
A lot of Asian countries have their own version, but it's braised pork belly, eggs, caramelized sugar, and then like we can stew it down until it caramelizes just like this. What is the spice?
So yeah, there's some Scotch bonnet in there. There's some bacon spice. We got some cinnamon, some cloves, some allspice, and then we have orange peel.
I am getting the citrus right away. Let's talk about your culinary career and how it started. Obviously, it kind of started in Guyana. But it really took off here in the States.
So when I came here, I went to the New York restaurant school. And I went in for pastry art. I thought that it was just gonna be making desserts. And they're like, so where you wanna go? Do you wanna do baking, chocolate, cake decorating? I was like, what? Like, all of this is just in pastry? There was so much complexity within that where I just thought desserts was desserts, and that's what it was. But I was more fascinated with the plating side, the blend of textures and temperatures all in one plate. I was more fascinated with the presentation side of the pastry arts. That drew me even more, because then it was like, I want to make stuff look beautiful on plates.
Sometimes you have a beautiful dessert and you look at it and then you take a bite, you're like, that looked great.
Yeah. Hey, I was one of those. I was one of them that was, and I think again, it's that maturity in how you learn, right? Because I wanted to create those dishes that I saw on TV. I wasn't focused on the flavor profile. I remember my first dish I created, and the chef just went in. Just demolish every single thing about the texture. The cake was off, the buttercream was too buttery. Like, he just went in, and I will remember sitting and just being sad. But, went through that process. And then I left there, I went to the River Cafe. I started there, I was 18 years old. Left from there, I went to the W in Times Square at Bluefin, worked over there as a pastry chef, and then made my way to Arizona after that. And that's where I met my business partner. And 10 years ago, we moved here to open up our first restaurant, Emma and Rad. My grandmother always told me that, no matter where you are, you should try to excel and be the best in that space. You kind of adapt that. And I think a lot of times in our lives, we have to remind ourselves about those moments, because we couldn't get too far ahead, especially in our art and our craft. We're like fighting to get this thing, and we forget sometimes the simple things in life is the most valuable.
I think that's a good life lesson too, right? It's like be present at what you're doing.
Yeah.
And then you just need to be the best of that.
Yes.
And don't worry about anything else right now.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, it's like sometimes we're so inundated with so much going on, especially with all the information we have these days. It's like, yeah, but at the end of the day, I just need you to make this dish really, really good.
You're talking about the current society, right? The generation of chefs that we have right now. I think that's what a lot of people are arguing is both sides of the education and technology that we have available to us now. It's almost like overload.
It really is.
Right? Where there's so much going on, you can't even focus on the now. You're constantly thinking about something else because your phone, whatever that is, you have access to so much information, it's almost overwhelming.
Yeah, it really is.
And that's what's happening with most chefs now. They don't want to take the time to master a dish like this. What they would come and say is, I want to make this better. And I'm like, no, you don't. Because I don't want you to make it better. This is perfect. I need you to make it like this before you think about making the other version of it.
The struggles of the young cook or chef in the kitchen, huh? It's like, I get where you want to be.
Right.
I just need you to master it like this. And then I need you to make it consistently every single time.
Yeah.
And when you can do that, we can talk about your next step.
That's exactly right.
You know, but people don't understand the struggles of getting there and making this dish taste good, texturally perfect. You know, like everything has to be on point.
Yeah.
To make it to that magazine shoot. To the, you know, it's like you can make it look great all day.
Yeah.
But if it tastes like shit,
yeah,
nobody wants it. What's the most common, the most recognizable dish in Caribbean cuisine?
Is the jerk chicken, right? 100%. I'm glad you say Caribbean food, right? Because that was one thing that is very important to us as a group, is making sure that we represent Caribbean food as a whole, and we didn't like isolate any one country and just focus on that cuisine. And we felt it was kind of limiting. Being able to talk about food that are inspired all the way from Puerto Rico to mainland Guyana, where we find different countries and highlight the beauty within them, was something that we were very, very serious and passionate about. This dish was essentially created by the native Indians there, which was the Arawak tribe and the Taino African tribe. And the story about jerk and how it started, it was that the Africans, they got away from the European soldiers and went up in the hills of Jamaica, and that's where they met the native Indians. Basically, the Africans knew how to do the spice, and the natives knew how to cook the meat. And then they would season it up, build this fire on the ground, and then grill everything and cover it with a bunch of leaves and branches so the smoke don't get up and the European soldiers wouldn't know where they are.
I love the OG collab right there.
Oh my God, right away. So this dish really transformed what Jamaican cuisine and culture is, so I had to highlight that here. And what makes our jerk seasoning, in my opinion, taste more flavorful, it's the fact that I adapted like Japanese culture of fermentation. I ferment it for about 6 months. And then when we make a new batch, we take half of the old batch and fold it into the new batch. So this has been, from the time we opened, which is going on 3 years now, we've had this mother that we've continued to mold. So it just gives it like this beautiful, rich earth tones. I'll let you dig in first, Chef.
All right. Well, I'm from Laos, so I'm just gonna use my hands.
Yeah, man, why not?
talking about rich culture, like Canje is like really spreading that in Austin.
Yeah, it was important for me to let my team to see what I was talking about when I was thinking about a Caribbean restaurant in Austin. It was important for us to have that connection because I didn't want it just to be about food. That's the other thing, right? A lot of times when we are chefs, we're mostly judged, or we can find our identity only in our food.
Right.
And people don't relate to us or understand us outside of that. If they see us in regular street clothes, they don't even know how to interact with us. It's almost uncomfortable. And I think I'm on a mission to change that, where we're not only going to create what's on the plate, but we're going to create the experience that you're going to have. And I think that's the next evolution of the chef, is there's no longer this separation between back and front of house. We are now able to adapt and create and teach the entire experience. So the time someone walks into the space, because of the lighting, because the choice of music that we're creating, it honestly impacts how you're experiencing the dish. That to me is what is going to create this, like, a touch of uncomfortableness, but that makes you even more, lack of a better term, submissive to the environment, and now you're experiencing something that you wouldn't have normally choose.
I think that's an important growth as a cook to a chef, is to be unapologetic to what you're trying to convey to the customers. You know what I mean? That's why they're here. They want to like experience what an elevated Caribbean restaurant would feel like being, like you said, you bring a chef from the Caribbean to Texas and give them all this. It's like, what can you do with this?
Right.
Obviously, you did amazing with it. So
okay. So this is our Rum Punch Sorbet.
I smelled the rum right away.
Yeah, man, you can't come to a Caribbean restaurant without walking out with some rum punch. So instead of giving you a glass of rum punch, we're gonna make it into dessert. So it started with 3 scoops of sorbet. In the bottom, I got watermelon, mango, and sorrel. And then we have a pour over of 15-year-old Guyanese rum. When you get all the flavors top to bottom and some of that rum, it's gonna taste like you take a drink of rum punch.
Rum punch?
Yeah, that's the vibe. So you gotta dig it.
So this is pretty much an elevated rum punch. Oh my God, that's so good. So your own people are your most critical, right? So how's the feedback been?
Man, the feedback has been good. I've had people come into this restaurant and cried and say that their mom passed away years ago and they haven't had a jerk chicken and her jerk chicken was like that. Or the way how she fried her fish, or like, there's been so many stories, man. And honestly, forget all the accolades.
Yeah.
That's what we work for.
Would you say mission accomplished?
Michelin star accomplished. Let's just say that. I like that.
You talk about it's not always about the accolades, but it's nice to receive them.
Yeah. It's a beautiful thing to be recognized for the hard work and energy that you put into something. It's a beautiful thing for that. But you should never lose focus of why you do what you do. Because people don't buy what you have, they buy why you have it. And the more we can sell our why instead of what we have, we would make a bigger impact in this community and the society that we live in.
I know one of your whys is your culinary scholarship program.
Yes.
That's your number one right now, right?
Yeah. We're I'm so blessed and honored to be able. That was again. And you get the attention, you get a platform, and you have to figure out ways on how you can utilize your platform for the greater good. So it was really important for me to start the Bristol-Joseph Culinary Scholarship from the ACC, and it was important that I went to a community college and did a scholarship there, because you go to the Cordon Bleu and all that, they have some of the best and some of the best funding for those schools, right? And I'm not taking anything away from it, but where the people that look like me, talk like me, and act like me, they don't have access to those schools. And if I'm able to create a platform that I have successful restaurants and I'm able to showcase my talent, then I want the people that are in those communities to have the same access to the education and the ability to see something different and mentorship that you would get in one of those high, schools. We've started that scholarship about three years now, and we've been blessed to have students that have graduated that I'm still mentoring to this day. That's gonna open up their own food truck actually next week, which I'm super blessed, and I'm gonna support her 110%. Yeah, man. And then we're sponsoring 2 more students this year. We're gonna have 2 people graduate. So I am truly honored. And it's not just about, we're paying for school. We're offering a place for the student to do internship. But more importantly, you have access to me 24/7 for the rest of your career, as long as you continue to stay in the field.
Chef, I mean, thank you. What an honor.
Yeah.
It is to sit down with you today. Thank you for being like such a pillar in the community and doing what you do, bringing multiple concepts to Austin, especially Canje here.
Yeah.
I just want to thank you so much for your time.
Yeah.
I know you gotta go.
Man, the pleasure is mine, man. I respect you and I respect what you're doing.
Same.
So thank you so much, man.
My pleasure. Hey guys, thanks for watching Chef to Chef. This episode is presented by InKind, a partner to thousands of restaurants across the country. InKind does 2 amazing things. They help restaurants like mine grow with hospitality first funding that truly understands what it takes to run a restaurant. No banks, no investors breathing down your neck, just real support from people who really get it. And with the app, customers will be able to earn discounts and rewards at top dining spots all across the country. When I was launching Loud Bar, InKind not only provided the crucial startup funds, but also helped new customers find my restaurant. So if you're a restaurant owner or a restaurant goer, InKind makes your dining experience so much easier and rewarding. Download the app today.